everybody doing today?
Good. We're good. I'm speaking on behalf of everybody.
Hell yeah. Oh, man. That was a good little skate sesh.
Yeah, a lot of fun at the old park.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold this morning. I mean, when I got out to my car, like, looking out the window, you know, it was bright, blue sky, sunny, because where I was, where I woke up, that town was not covered in
Complete frost,
fog, and cold. But when I got outside and I went to my car, there was like a thick layer of ice on my windshield. But the back of the car was completely like dry and defrosted because I was in the shadow of like a truck. So I had to sit there. The only window that was iced over was my windshield. So I had to just sit there for a while and wait for the damn thing to defrost. But anyway, it was cold as hell. Getting to the park, I really thought it was going to be a rough ride. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we contemplated leaving like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
Easily, because it was like, this is cold.
Really cold. Like, and the more you ride around, the colder it gets, because then you got the cold air like whipping in your face and stuff, and it's rough. But
like we're talking about, makes your eyes water,
yeah,
and, like sting, like
yeah, because like to a certain degree, you have no choice but to like start pumping around and stuff, because if you want to warm up and actually skate,
you
like,
gotta get the blood.
When I got there, I was like hands in my pockets, like just rolling around, stiff as a board, trying to just like get the blood flowing and stuff. And
yeah, even when I pulled up, like, your still hands were in the pocket.
Yeah,
You're
beanie on, hood over the beanie. You know,
it was fucking cold. I had 2 jackets on. I had like a heavy coat, like Dickie style, Carhartt-ish coat, and then a sweatshirt. And I would usually wear 2 t-shirts, so I had like 4 layers of clothing on my top, and I was still freezing. Yeah, super down with the thickness. And I was freezing my ass off still, so I was like, damn, I don't know how you're doing. You're just in a sweatshirt and a beanie.
and a t-shirt
and
under that, to be fair. It was a ton of fun, though. I had a great sesh.
Yeah, I learned new shit. I haven't learned new shit in so long.
I learned some new stuff,
too. The fucking Euro today. Like, getting them baby steps and shit. I haven't done a Euro gap ever.
Dude,
like ever, and now
that's
I've
tight.
At least
I didn't even know that.
To like stomp. That was fucking sick. I'm super excited. So
Hell
now
yeah.
I'm gonna keep like doing that because it's right there, and get to the ollie point to where I can make it clear. And we'll get there.
Yep.
Right now I'm doing the disaster, like smash in. It's fucking tight. I love it.
It's easy though.
I love
it. See, I had never tried that little front 180 or back 180 disaster up.
We got some footage. You're gonna have to go to the SK8 Richwood.tv in order to on Instagram, and you can go see some savage skating from our boy Drew. It's amazing. He did some sick shit. You'll see. Like,
I did some sketchy shit. That's for
sketchy shit. Yeah, it was clean sketchy shit.
Clean, polished it up pretty good, I think.
Polished. It was super sick.
It was a lot of fun though. It was one of those days that, like, despite really not having a good time in the beginning, and like you said, we contemplated leaving, you know, just multiple times. Yeah, it was brutal.
It was brutal, fucking but cold, and just
we stuck it out, got warmed up, and then had a great time.
Hell yeah! And the one good thing is, like, it was icy in the grass. It was icy on rooftops. It was icy on the cars. It was not icy on the ground in the skate park.
Perfectly dry.
It was perfectly dry.
Which is kind of rare. I don't really know why. Maybe it... I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know
honestly.
Much about temperatures,
My
but
whole brain, like, process the entire time going over there was like, it's going to be icy.
Well, yeah,
when the shadow spots, like, it's going to definitely.
When
be
I was
icy.
driving here, I thought that, like, because like I said, when I woke up, I looked out the window, it was clear blue sky and it was sunny, and so I knew it was cold, but I thought it was at least sunny. Well, I'm halfway here, and there's just this massive fog, like the fog from Stephen King novels, like just like a wall. And I was like, oh no, like, this is where I'm going. What? I didn't know
directly
about this.
where I'm going.
And so, yeah, was not looking forward to it.
Yeah, when I first got, like, the text and everything, I looked out my window here, and there was, like, sunshine. And then I closed the window, got everything ready, opened the door, and it was just thick fog. And I'm like, well, where the fuck did this come from? And how's everything frozen in ice? I was like, my porch is frozen, the grass is frozen, park's definitely going to be frozen. Wasn't. I was fucking shocked. It was a miracle from God because he wanted us to do those tricks today. The skate gods.
The skate gods smiled upon us, yeah. I mean, by the time we left, it's blue
fucking,
sky, it's
yeah,
sunny there, too. All that fog burned off, but I'm glad we got there early, too, because I like starting my day with some activity like that, you know?
I do, too. I enjoy
It's really tempting to just do nothing all day, but in, the last couple years, I feel like I've really somehow, I don't know if it's so much a conscious thing, but it's just been, it's like in the mornings and stuff on the weekend, I just want to get up. I want to get up early, just like a lot of times I'll just get up for my work alarm, my normal alarm at like 5:10 or whatever it is. Bang. And I'll just be up, and it's like it makes the weekend like twice as long when you don't sleep until 1:30.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're adding hours and hours of productivity, or even doing nothing if you want, but at the very least, like I have felt that I enjoy my weekend so much more when I am able to just get up and drink some coffee. I'll play some Switch or something. I'll listen to some music, make some music. I'll take a shower, and then just be up and be able to do whatever, like go skate. And like, you don't feel like you're wasting the day. That's what I hate,
Yeah, that's, I've been trying even like the last week since we just started like skating again, since the weather's been a little bit nicer and not completely soaked. Every day I've been getting up at like 4 o'clock, doing a little editing. By sunrise at like 7:45, 7:49, I'll start packing up and getting ready, and then go to either the Lake Stevens Park or Wiggum's and just by myself early in the morning before anybody else shows up, and just go skate. And I've been doing that for the last like week. It's been nice. I feel so much better throughout the day. Like as soon as I'm like, all right, I've already accomplished something, so now it's easier to accomplish other things throughout the day.
You get that ball rolling,
Yeah. Definitely getting the ball moving, and with these old bones, it's hard. As soon as getting them moving is the hard part.
Yep. And yeah, I like to say my first gear is going out. Once I get cruising, I'm okay. But that first gear, man,
it's definitely slips.
Getting rough, especially warming up skating, which is like, it's funny. I mean, realistically, we're not like old, but we're not like indestructible teenager, young 20s. Young bucks,
heal in a day or two.
Yeah.
I rolled my ankle yesterday.
Yeah, I'm good.
Doing 10 stairs today.
Or it's like it's still like swollen, but you're still gonna go skate.
Yeah, because you're just overcoming it.
Yeah.
We're like, I can't move my fucking leg.
Yeah, I have to go to work. Like,
I got bills to pay.
Yeah, I kind of got to do stuff.
Dues. I got all these things that are a due and need my attention. So, busted fucking leg doesn't really help anybody.
Nope, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But that's why I feel like I actually like slam and fall a lot less these days.
Oh.
And it's probably just from being a little more wise and knowing when not to push it.
Oh yeah.
But that was not always the case.
No.
Not at all. I used to have like everyone tell me like, dude, you can just like chill out, like you don't have to go so hard or like go so fast and stuff, and like I just didn't have that like restraint, I guess, because it was so like skateboarding, we were talking about it earlier, but I got into skating kind of later in life, so my when my skateboarding body was like a child's body on a skateboard. Like I didn't have the balance and the muscle memory and all that stuff down, so it was a lot of just skating and trying to keep up with all the homies, because as you know, all those dudes have ripped for a long time.
They kill it.
And so coming in super late, like I didn't have a choice but to like
you're just trying
I was just trying to keep up, like even when I couldn't even like go fast, I couldn't even push straight because I would lose my balance and like
fuck it, we're still
take
going.
a misstep or kick my board while I'm pumping, which still happens.
I still do that shit.
Happens the best of them.
But that's crazy, to even think like you're just having to. You feel like you're having to like try to jump up these levels faster without having all the years to like get the groundwork that everybody else got. So you're just trying to like jump 10 years of skating in.
I remember the very first time. Shout out Stillmo. Good stuff. Check it out on YouTube. STILLMO. Stillmo skateboarding. Back in those days, I remember the first time I got in a video. And I was like so stoked because, you know, these were all guys that I really looked up to as the skaters in the scene, you know, like
that fucking shredded up.
Yeah, and it's like obviously these are like the best dudes around. It's like not even really close, like
yeah.
And they're making like real skate videos and they're doing all this cool stuff. And so to be like, you know, to end up in that
their actual
part
video.
as part of that, like it was cool. And I was late in the game and it was kind of like not dying, but like, you know, it's just things only last so long, you know what I mean? But I just remember getting in a clip, and it was at the Arlington Park. It was a pop shove over the garbage can lid. Remember the garbage can used to be there, and the lid, everyone skate the lid. So the video is called The Lid. And and I got a pop shove in there, and I was like so hyped, you know, that I made it into a video and stuff. And
oh, fuck yeah.
That was a really cool feeling of like accomplishment, but at the same time just like feeling like welcomed as a friend and like as a homie, you know?
Oh yeah, like shit. I know everybody. I've never made it into any video. I also didn't skate at the time that like they were really.
Well,
filming.
And that's the thing too is like I could pop shove. It was like one of maybe like 3 tricks I could really do, you know. Yeah. So like I was like I said, just trying my best to kind of keep up.
Dude, it's sick though to like I watched a lot of those old videos because like I was off doing because I was a little older than everybody. I was into drugs and all that shit at that time, and stopped skating. But watching all those clips, like seeing everybody just destroying shit, it's insane. Blows my mind because if I would have been there, it probably would have kept me from like doing all the drugs just to see all that shit, and I would have like been motivated to do, yeah, motivated to get better and to have like stepped up and got like the company running earlier because I started it at 17. Like I tried to start it at 17, but drugs overtook and I just like fell out of the scene. But I was like hand painting decks and stuff at the time and selling
That's
them.
Cool.
Yeah, and they were pretty good decks at the time. I had a good supplier, but they ended up disappearing when I went back to like try to find a supplier. They were no longer available.
Damn.
Yeah, it was sad.
Well, shit, look at you now.
Yeah, soon we'll be doing some good stuff. We'll keep everybody informed as it like goes on. I don't want to put my eggs before they hatch, but
sure.
As soon as we get to going on stuff, go subscribe to 9 Media now. Though, get on that train now before you just don't have the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Is that on YouTube or is that
So yeah, there's on YouTube. There will be stuff, but there's on Facebook right now. We have just our stuff on Facebook, and not entirely sure what's going on with the YouTube yet. We're just getting a spot set up right now, and then as soon as we get all that, we'll start laying out all the stuff. But go subscribe on our follow on Facebook for sure.
Yeah. Number 9?
Yeah, number 9 Media. Going to be a lot of stuff coming out of there. You'll be seeing a lot of media coming out of there. And if you need media work and you got money, hit us up. We'll get it done for you the right way, proper.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of stuff you guys do.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Photos, video, podcasts, all kinds of stuff. If you guys got a podcast and you're trying to find like a place to get your podcast hosted and have somebody produce it and that kind of stuff, hit us up.
Hell
get that
yeah.
stuff going. So, I don't know who's yelling at what, but sounds like one of my grandfather might be yelling at my neighbor. That's hilarious. Like, she's just a fucking dumb lady. She like tries to cause issues with 70-year-old people. I don't know why a 40 or 50-year-old person would attempt to do those kinds of things.
Yeah, it's a little childish.
Oh, extremely. Yeah. She like sent her 17-year-old son over here to like talk down and strong arm them to build the fence. Didn't know it, not knowing that I was here, and like I hear someone talking to my grandparents in this fucked up way, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who the fuck is talking to them like that? So I kick open the door and just started shitting bricks. Oh, it's not just old people? Gotcha. I was like, yeah.
Come out.
Gonna need to change that tone. He changed his fucking attitude real quick. I was like, you
sure.
can go over and tell your mom, shut the fuck up from me. It's just insane. I try. We're super friendly with all of our other neighbors. We love all of our neighbors, and she was one of like those people for a while, and then she just kind of flipped out of nowhere and started being a bitch. I don't know why.
Maybe like I don't know. Maybe something like terrible happened in her life or something, and she just like lost it.
That's what I'm
wondering.
wondering.
I mean, not to speculate on a perfect stranger, but
yeah, I mean, like that's the only thing that makes any kind of logical sense is like fucking dad died or something, like something either deep and personal or like lost of a relationship or something like that.
Yeah, just because like I feel like it's pretty rare that people just kind of suddenly change their tune like that, especially if you previously have been like friendly and
and
cordial
cool
with them.
each other. Like my grandpa and her used to talk. And that's why they're still the only ones that really talk to each other. Like, but it's the tone of it has changed greatly. So it's weird. But like my grandpa, he's helpful. He goes and helps the other neighbors and shit with all kinds of stuff. They come over here. They bring food back and forth. Like we have a good relationship with our across the street neighbors over here. They're great people. Just sweet, salt of the earth people. Same with right across the street over here. And this guy, he's gone most of the time. He's out fishing half the year, I think, doing in Alaska. He's in Alaska for something for 6 months out of the year.
Fisherman?
Yeah. And then across the way, that guy works all the time, like across from the neighbor. And I won't ever really see them. These people over here, they wave. They're super nice and cordial. Don't really see them much either, though. That's about it. And then my gas station attendant's one down the road, and she's a sweetheart too. Talk to her all the time when I go and get gas at Safeway. She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, it's nice to know your neighbors and like have a somewhat of a relationship with them. Yeah. It's kind of old school.
I try to. My grandpa, he's like the nosy one. He like likes to get into people's shit. I would keep cordial and wave at my neighbors just to be nice, but like I don't care to be in their business.
Yeah, like we don't got to be friends.
Yeah,
or
like, we could be like cordially talk and stuff, but like I don't need to hang out with you.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I don't need you coming knocking on my door all the time. It depends on the person. Like if it's a cool person,
it's kind of like coworkers,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Just sort of in general, like they're or a lot of times it's more like your boss. Like, yo, I don't really want to be like we work together and we'll be cool and stuff, but like
I'm not gonna kick it with you at the bar after work.
I'm not really like trying to hang out.
Yeah, you don't need to know what I do in my private time. Yeah. You're my boss. Like, I separate.
I like my job because like I see all my coworkers like in like different times of the year and at different places and stuff, and it's like always just kind of a mix and match of crew at different locations, kind of around the country. So you'll end up working with like two of these other guys, and you like working with them, and then you go and you work with a couple other dudes somewhere else, and you like working with them. Like, so I feel lucky that like all my coworkers are like super chill, and I feel like I get along perfectly fine with like all of them.
See, that's rare.
Yeah,
that's super rare.
Well, I like my job a lot in that sense.
That is super,
because it's just one less thing to like be annoyed at all the time at work.
Oh, for sure. Like I used to like the other employees that I worked with at my last job. I just couldn't stand the management.
Yeah.
Like the management at the place I was at was great, but like the above that management, they just kept doing just weird, fucked up shit. Like we were making too good of tips, and they're like, "All right, well, since you're making so much in tips, we're gonna spread that wealth evenly." I'm like, I don't work for communists.
Like split all the tips.
Yeah, they split.
Yeah, that shit sucks. Their restaurants have to do that right now because of COVID.
It's insane.
And it's split up on different. So like the cooks get a certain percentage, and then they divide that up evenly. The wait staff. So it's not like the cook and like the waitress or the waiter that has like 20 tables or something are getting the same amount. It's still divided up sort of,
Oh, see, they were dividing it exactly the same amount.
Yeah, see,
so
that's
everybody
some
gets
bullshit.
exactly the same amount, and whatever is
because
left
clearly
over,
some jobs
like,
are harder and take more work than others.
Yeah, well, at this, I mean, all of it's the same thing, but it's like you only get tipped on whether or not you're doing good at it.
Yeah,
and people at like, especially when it comes to like selling weed, it's on like your knowledge basis. They're tipping you.
Exactly.
Right?
They're not tipping the entire store. They're trying to tip you
specifically. And I don't even have a problem splitting that up with like the crew of that you're on the shift with. But when they're like, oh, this shift is making more than the other shift, now we got to split your shift with their shift, and so everyone makes an equal share. And it's like, well, but they didn't do that work. They didn't have that knowledge. They didn't make those tips. There's a reason why we're making more tips, because we do better. So
well, it's like being a salesman.
Yeah,
I mean, it's essentially what it is. But like,
and then
car salesman, like if you had to share all your sales with everyone else that worked there, it sucks.
And it makes no sense, especially if that's like what you're able to take home. That's like basically what you live on. And
right.
The other stuff pays your bills, basically, because you're not making a whole lot of money. People think when you work in weed that they make like $20 an hour. The average seller you're getting at your 502, they're making like 12 to 14.
Yeah, probably minimum wage.
Yeah,
minimum wage plus tips.
Yeah, well, I mean, minimum wage just went up to 15, so everybody's going to be 15, I guess. We'll see.
You know what sucks
works.
about that, and I don't mean sucks. Like, it's good for the people that it's good for. Like, I'm happy for everyone. It doesn't affect me at all if other people get paid more. Like, good for you, man.
Yeah, you don't get paid anymore.
However, the concept, it sort of sucks in the sense that, like, man, I wish my wage was bumped up. Like, because, like, if you think about it, like, pragmatically, I suppose, if you say that these people are now, the government says you now all just get a blank dollar raise up to this certain level, like $15. So if someone was making like $11 or $12, they just got like a $3 raise. And like I said, fuck yeah, man, get that money,
Yeah, but if
but
you're making
it'd
20,
be sweet if it was like, hey, and everyone gets that raise,
Yeah, if it was like $15 boost on everybody's raise, or even a $5 boost on everybody's, like, that seems even more.
I don't know. I mean, that honestly doesn't really make sense, though. Just it's more like a, damn it, I want to raise too.
Yeah,
but because if you just constantly were giving everyone, like, at a certain point, the government would straight up be paying people monthly stipends, essentially. And I don't know if that's.
I don't like universal basic income, but we've shown that we can do it.
What would be interesting, though, is maybe that's the key, is like a universal basic income, but it's a certain, like, percentage. It's based on a certain percentage. So, like, if you make, let's say the UBI is set at like $50,000. So if you make like $30,000, you get supplemented that extra $20,000 per year by the government. If you make 45, you get that extra 5. But if you make over that, you can still, I think, like, let's say you make 55, so you'll still get maybe 10 a year. So, like, you still get part of that basic income, and as you make more and more per year, they wean you off of that UBI. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, anything can, like, we're in an experiment anyway.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, is like, well, where are you just going to get all this fucking money from? And it sucks, because then you got to cut certain things to make
but there's a lot of fat that could be cut.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Like,
yeah.
I guarantee.
And it depends on your values and what you think is important in a society.
But I mean, like, there's a sidewalk cleaner, like, that can't, like, if that's just their job, is just cleaning, like, and you got, in most of the union stuff, you got 4 or 5 people standing around that aren't doing anything.
Oh, yeah.
So there's fat that can be cut that's just, like, essential. We're now talking about essential workers, and half of the population isn't essential anymore, supposedly. So unless you work at a medical facility, a pot shop, and a liquor store, or a corner store,
construction too.
Yeah, construction. But they had to fight to get construction
going.
Sure.
Well, and I'm sure they wouldn't even had a chance if it wasn't for the unionization and everything.
Exactly.
Which is cool, because it kept me going to work.
Yeah.
But I've spent a lot of time in a union, and
the unions fucking kick ass for the average person.
Yeah, but it just depends because a lot of times you're still not getting a very fair cut.
Oh no, you're definitely,
compared
they're gonna
to what
fuck
you're
you
putting in
any way that they can. they're just like any other corporation. Like the union's a corporation, so they're looking at how they can skim as many
essentially
dollars
you have
themselves.
you have a monthly fee for a raise. Like you get a raise, you get a pay raise, but you also have to pay monthly union dues. Yeah. So you got to think that part of that extra money that you are making on paper
is really like they just say, going to your dues.
You can start as a union electrician for like $55, like $55 an hour or something, but some of that every year, a certain X thousands of dollars every year
is going to
going right back to them.
And that's supposed to be paying for your protections.
Right, and there are plenty of benefits that they provide, but I just know I think it could be retooled. I think because, like you said, it's a known thing that a lot of times you get that four dudes standing around, one guy's doing something.
Yeah, and one guy's actually doing the work and making the money for the company and for the union, and
that's why companies like Boeing have such a hard time because like there's so many employees, but like. Dude, straight up, they could fire 75% of the people that worked there and get the exact same amount done. And if you took that amount of money that those other employees were making and paid those employees that you needed that showed that they were, let's say, essential, dude, you would have a killer place to work because everyone would love their job because they'd know that, A, I'm here because I'm really good at this and I'm here because I can make this happen.
Agreed.
And B, I'm getting paid really, really good money. It incentivizes you to come to work, whereas the current situation is more like
I'm getting paid pennies.
I'm trying to figure out how I can not do anything and still have a job.
Yeah.
And that's, unfortunately, that's not really an exaggeration.
Yeah, no, that's most people at most places. And, like, I'm a lazy fuck, but when I'm working, I work my ass off. Yeah, like, I'm there to work. I don't want to just stand around. Like, if I'm going to do that, then I'm just going to go home.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense to me to just fucking dick the dog. Now, I have medical issues. Sometimes I have to sit my ass down, like, take a second, which I try really hard not to do. Most of the time, I'll just push through until my body starts to collapse. And then people yell at me, why didn't you just take a break? It's like, well, because then I have to start up again.
Yeah.
And that fucking sucks. So I'd rather just go until my body is like, you can't go anymore. And I watch people that just sit around and do nothing, but they end up making the bigger chunk of the money. They end up getting the promotions. They end up getting the raises. They end up, becoming the boss somehow. And you're like, you don't fucking do anything, though. Like, how the hell did you get...
It's because they don't rock the boat.
That's true. That's the big thing. They don't rock the boat. They don't say when things are wrong.
Keep the system going. It's working,
I'm bad with that.
Like, I mean, on a certain fundamental level, I have a respect for getting the most out of the smallest amount of effort. Like, on principle, like that's wise,
Yeah, it's like, super wise. It's energy saving. It's
right. I mean, it's technically the best way to do something,
Yeah,
to
KISS method,
get the most you can out of it. But I guess I'm also able to see it from the fact that, like, at a certain point, companies like Boeing, they just get strangled by the power of these unions.
Yeah, because don't they have more than one union as well? Like, there's multiple unions that they're having.
Yeah, there's like machinist union and there's
battle
engineer
with
union
all the time.
Yeah,
and unions got fucking army of lawyers. Not that Boeing doesn't, but it's like you got 12 unions versus one union, one Boeing's
and it's all with hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, it's, and maybe more in the grand scheme of things. And so it's just extreme wealth battling extreme wealth in a courthouse where it's like, who even knows? Like, what I'm saying?
And all these little things are just, they're pinching pennies though from the little guy that's actually making the dollars. So
right. And that's the thing, is like, these companies, they make so much money that everyone could be paid dramatically more.
Well, and that's like the thing, is like, you see Facebook, right? You see Twitter, you see Instagram, which is part of Facebook. You see Amazon. Amazon's been known to be like a shit company to work for because they you can't take a 5-minute piss without getting
really
in trouble.
Cracking the whip over there.
They crack the whip in their warehouses and shit. According, allegedly, this is what I've heard. And some people love it though. They like that super speed. Some people don't. But these companies all fight for like the equal justice, equal outcome of like everything, right? The Justice Warriors company, and then they pay shit wages, and they outsource to pay shit wages a lot of the time.
That's a big problem, I think, is outsourcing.
And I don't understand how they can be publicly like, oh, we need to fucking have the equal outcome, yet we as these billion-dollar companies that are like monopolies don't even pay real living wages to 90% of our employment that actually do the physical work to get like people going. It's ridiculous. It's like $14 an hour is what they're hiring at right now. And that's for like delivery drivers, packagers, scanners, all that kind of stuff, runners. And then you don't get benefits for at least 60 to 90 days. And
while there's a pandemic going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and they talk about, well, you need to be vaccinated and you have to test for COVID. And like my buddy, he works for a company, and he got sick, but it was just the cold.
Yeah.
And so they said you have to get tested first before you can come back. And then if it's a positive test, we'll pay you for your time off. If it's negative, you just lose that time off. And so since it came back negative, he just lost a week of work because they wouldn't let him come in until it came back with a positive or negative.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, and then there's no like balance for his paycheck unless he had COVID. And it's like, oh, so any other sickness is bullshit, but COVID's fine, so it doesn't matter if you're out of work for a cold, which could kill you, or a flu, which could kill you. But COVID, which has a fucking 1%, not even 1%, 0.1% death rate in mostly the elderly.
Unfortunately, the thing is, I think that these large companies, they have so much money because they don't really practice ethics.
Yeah.
Like they'll do the bare minimum in order to practice those things that cost them money, right? Because it costs them money to do the ethically correct thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think it just sucks because, you know, I don't know.
It just bugs me that they're like, those specific companies are the ones that are like, they're censoring or taking down or removing entire platforms from their servers and stuff. Like the whole Parler thing, like that's a whole company that just got removed, which should be under the same fair act as Facebook and Twitter, as just a social media site that's under the 230 Act, to where like they shouldn't be getting judged as a company for whatever's posted on their platform, which is how Facebook and Twitter get away with the groups of white supremacists and stuff that are on their platform, because they're not a publisher. I
think it's also like the whole we have the right to refuse service type of deal. They're at the end of the day, they are just private companies, you know.
Yeah,
and so I don't think there's anything that's stopping Parler from like having their own servers and hosting their own stuff independent of those big companies.
No,
of course, it'd be
not.
Extremely expensive, and like that might be impossible for them to do in reality.
To get as big, to like be on an equal playing field, so then it becomes a monopoly deal. So like now you've monopolized the game, and that's an illegal.
I mean, that's capitalism, because theoretically you could, if you had the money to do it, you could build up a network, you could build up everything and get to the same point as these other companies. But
well, not if you're not allowed to be on like the same app store. Like you can't be on Google's app store.
Well, it's much harder, but like I think at the end of the day, though, it's all still just private companies that have the right to say we're not going to put your shit on our store.
Yeah, I mean, to a degree, but then you get into, again, like the monopolized thing. Like, are you stopping the growth of a company because you disagree with the company, and is that a monopoly now? Have you blocked, are you the gatekeeper as a company to whether or not somebody can get in to this business? And that's why the whole monopoly law is supposed to be there. And that's why Facebook right now and Twitter there's like 48 suits from different states and countries on just them breaking the basic laws and tenets of like rights and privacy and all the things that in other countries, like I think in even Yugoslavia and Uganda, they completely shut Facebook and Twitter down. because Facebook was promoting a bunch of the opposition forces to the governments that's in right now, and so he just cut it. He's like, it's not allowed in this country anymore at all, because they're trying to manipulate the media on these profiles and build this opposition force.
Yeah, I think these massive multimedia, like online companies, they're too new to have the regulations to stop them from doing that stuff.
Yeah,
I know we've talked about it before, and I think that there's going to be a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline that stops companies like this from monopolizing.
I'm curious to see how it works out.
The tricky part is that they're not keeping anyone from using the internet. You know, they might be, really making it super fucking hard for them to thrive in today's sort of societal norms of like the App Store, Google Play Store, all these places that are there, that most people can use. But since those companies are private and they're saying, we don't want you on our stuff, like, that's the problem, is like there's nothing stopping them from building up from the ground up. The thing is, it would just be extremely hard. And I see what you're saying is that these companies are actively making it much, much harder for this other company.
And they tend to buy out other companies, which is where the monopoly play comes in. Like, if they can't defeat them, they end up buying them out.
But like the owners of the company don't have to take a deal.
That's
but a lot of times that money is so much that it's like, how can you say no?
There are I don't know exactly how the monopoly laws work, but I know that there's rules to that. The same as, like, and it's weird, like the pyramid scheme thing. Like, if you do it in a certain way, like, all companies are basically a pyramid scheme, but if you do it this way, it's legal. If you do it this way, it's illegal. And it's literally like one difference in how the order of top down goes.
Yeah.
And it's just fucking retarded. I think that it should be... I believe that the company should have the right to do that. But if you call yourself a social media company and you also want to use the you want to use that 230 law to consider yourself not an editor, then you shouldn't be able to edit any information that gets put onto that site, whether it's hate speech, whether it's even a call to violence. Like, unless it breaks the First Amendment, I guess that would be the one thing that stops it. So a call to violence, like, we have a constitutional right, at least in this country. If it's somewhere in another country, they have their own laws, follow it by that. But here, it would be that. So if it's a call to violence, that would be the only thing that they could take off, because that would be illegal. But they would have to call the police and like do an actual investigation and do it like the right way, instead of just cutting people completely off, because they claim to be a social media platform, but then they use private company as the excuse for what they're doing. And I think that's like, we have to find, like you said, like, there's no legislation on it. We have to find that happy medium. Is like, if you're going to claim to be a social media company and a social platform, then you can't use private company.
Right. There's certain things you can and can't do as a company.
Yeah. Like,
and that's exactly what I think is going to be coming, is like defining what is a social media platform, and then saying, okay, if you are going to do this and if you fall under this definition, you have to abide by these laws. Just like if you're a fucking real estate company. Like, if you are a real estate company, you have to do X, Y, and Z. There's certain things you have to do that keep it all above board and keep it all fair to the best of their ability, you know, in theory.
Yeah,
but
in theory.
In that same way, I think that's what we're going to see, is definitions and really carving out what it means to host people's opinions, people's speech, and saying, like, at what point are you allowed as a private company? Like, if you're going to say, I'm here to host all this, at a certain point you have to surrender to that decision, and you have to say, okay, that the good comes with the bad, and we can't just decide what's good and what's bad as a company. But right now, because it's all private, like I said, it's straight up to them. If they think morally it's good or it's bad, they can say, we don't want this here, get out of my store, essentially. Like, we have the right to refuse service to you.
Yeah,
and that's their right. And as it stands right now, I think that, like you said, you know...
I think it's just in the public eye, because it's displayed as social media, that it's hard for people to wrap their mind to, like, you claim to be this social thing, and then you also use the privacy thing. Right. So
they're double dipping because they can. There's nothing stopping them, because it's too new, you know.
And so my question is for you then: do you think then like, if when they get regulated, if all those things happen, right? Do you think that Facebook, Twitter will still be like the big dogs in town, or do you think that will destroy the way that they've built their platforms, and they would have to like rebuild the platform, or just
it just depends. I mean, like the old business saying is adapt or die, and you see it time and time again. I mean, why aren't there companies that are from the fucking 1200s that are still around?
Truth.
You know, I mean, not to mention everyone's dead, but like whatever it was that they were making or selling couldn't make it last long enough to keep going today. Now there's companies like, I want to say Nintendo. That company, I believe it's the oldest company in the world, and it started in like, oh man, like 600 or 700 AD or something like that. As an old, like, and it's, of course it wasn't Nintendo making fucking video games, but it started off as like a manufacturer of like playing cards or like little game pieces or something like that, and it's just grown and grown and changed over the years. But they even sell, actually Nintendo sells playing cards, which is like a random thing that you can buy on their website. It seems random, but the history of the company, that's what they made, like games and cards
Forever.
a long time ago.
Damn.
But the point is, that company, whatever they made, 1,000 years ago, they're not still selling that today because they grew, they changed, they adapted.
And
every other company that ever existed at that time did not, and they're all dead. So, like, to answer your question, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, they're going to adapt or they're going to die, or something better is going to come up, or they're going to, they're going to shift and be that something better. But you can only last for so long. I mean, history shows companies do not last forever.
That's true.
They're a living thing, and they depend on their leadership. They depend on what's happening at the top,
Yeah, and people are constantly attacking the people at the top. Mark Zuckerberg just has a fucking face that people love to meme.
Dude, I want to see the first like fully robotic company. Like the company is all
robots.
It's like an AI company, and they ship and they do whatever they need to do, and it's all robots. Dude. I want to see the chaos.
Dude, that would be crazy.
Because
I wonder if
in
it just
theory,
like
that could be
becomes
the perfect
perfection.
company.
Yeah, it just like becomes perfection.
And if you owned that robot, if you owned that brain or whatever,
oh, you're fucking rich. You're the richest person.
And you
on
can
the
say,
planet
hey,
ever.
make me $1 billion. Just go figure out how to do that, smart ass AI computer.
I wonder if
because you could
doing
straight
that
up
right
say
now.
like, I want $1 billion of net profit, and put that into artificial intelligence, and it would effectively, I mean, in theory, otherwise people would have probably done this by now, but in theory, it would develop and learn and figure out way, way, way faster than any human ever could how to get to that point where you have a net profit of $1 billion, and like it's programmed for that to be its life mission. Every single quote brain cell it has is focused on that number and that goal, whereas we have to eat and we have to sleep and we have to do all this, and they can just light speed, it's electrons going around
1 billion times a second.
It's insane, man.
There is that in stocks.
Really?
Yeah,
like
I've
automated
seen a guy that he'll show you even how to like make an AI
I've thought about
training program and then put it into like penny stocks, and he's like, it does good some days, it does bad at first, it's because it's learning the rights and wrongs, and then it gets better and better, and at like the end of the 30 days or something, he ended up making like $6,000.
Damn.
And he just like put in
See,
a parameter
I bet that that's
like,
too new to be illegal yet as well.
Yeah, and
but that
so
seems
it's
like the kind of thing that they'd be like, "Oh, pump the brakes, buddy. You can't just make a bunch of robot money." Come on.
Just sitting there like having this
Even
thing.
though it's like, man, that's bullshit. Well, I should be able
but
to make a damn robot.
I feel like that's what the big stock market has become.
That probably
is like just computers
analytics,
that are just going back and forth, and then there's just guys in there staring at the screens like.
Well, and there's so much data, and these computers can go through it so much faster than we can. I mean, it's like,
with
it'd
accuracy.
be insane not to use them, to the best of our ability there.
Oh, I can't wait to see what quantum computers do. I can't wait.
They're already doing some crazy shit.
I know, but like once we feel like I've been hearing about the quantum internet now,
Ooh.
like.
Yeah, I heard there's a new internet coming.
The quantum internet, that shit's supposed to be insane.
Way faster.
You're supposed to be able to like multitask so many different things in
because it's hosted off a bunch of nodes instead of a central server,
and then you're just in seconds get information because it can just simultaneously like grab
like
things
massive
from
file
everywhere.
Sharing,
It's fucking gnarly. I can't comprehend.
I think the
him.
first, I was just reading the first browser. I think it's called Brave browser. It's like an internet browser for that.
Oh shit.
For that internet.
Oh, I haven't
but
even
I'm
heard
not sure. I mean, you might have to set up Tor or something like that to be able to
like,
run
access.
it. Like, I'm not sure how, but I saw it more of a headline. But
I haven't even heard of the name of I just heard quantum internet, and like there was a little discussion on it, and it was pretty brief. But I was like, oh fuck, they were just like talking. Now we've gone from quantum computers to like thinking about the quantum internet, and then they were like, that's insane, and then it kind of went on to a whole other thing. But that shit's fucking crazy to me. The fact that like, because quantum computing is exactly like we were talking about, like faster than light speed. Like there's instantaneous transformations of things faster than light. Like it's this affects this, and we figured out somehow how to make those things work in a, even if it's in a big ass fucking computer tube thing. The fact that we figured that out
so
is
insane.
Who and what were you smoking? Because I'm trying to get some of that Shiba.
Yeah,
I want some of that.
I think about that kind of thing, like the Hadron Collider, and like, I mean, the stuff that we've been able to do, splitting the atom. We
found the Higgs boson. Like that was
man, like
theoretical thing when I was a kid. They were like, we probably will never find it, and then by the time I'm 20, they're like, we found it,
the God particle,
and we found multiple other Higgs. So like, it's not just one. There's a whole field of Higgs bosons. So like, it opened up a whole nother science.
Yeah, and it's just like, it makes me think like, how do people sit around and like not believe science, you know what I mean? I certainly understand speculation, but like stuff that's like, no, we have fucking split an atom, or we built a goddamn particle collider. Like, it's not just a theory,
a thought.
This is did this shit.
Like you can go there,
right,
and see it, touch it, feel it, know that it's actually an exist. It's not like angels and demons. It's like actually
you can see
physical thing,
right,
and it does real shit. Like, if you go stand inside of it while it's doing its thing, you will die.
You will die, sir. Sir, you will die. Please get out of the collider.
It's not a fucking figment of your imagination or a thought or just a theory that you think is possible. It's a real life fucking thing.
You're going to get hit by just this invisible, it's just all of a sudden you will be no more.
Yeah, just fucking like 10% the speed of light. Photon blasting through magnetic rings that has to go through 3 countries. I think it goes like through.
Yeah, it's a massive circle.
It's fucking gnarly, and it's got more. Like, I would be afraid to go in there with my teeth and magnets that they got on that shit.
I'd be afraid to go in there at all.
Just like pull the metal out.
I
of your
totally
blood.
would though.
Yeah, I would too.
Fuck yeah! If someone said, "Hey, you want to go walk around inside the Hadron Collider?"
Fuck yeah!
Yeah,
100%.
Can we
I'll
smoke
even do
in there?
the Shiva dance out front that everybody like. Have you heard that with the conspiracy theories?
No.
Oh, there's like conspiracy theories because they have that Ishnu, or like the goddess of destruction, outside, and so, and they did like a dance when they were opening up a tunnel. They did like this whole. But it's over in fucking like Norway or something, where like
so
this
it's
is part of their like
cultural thing.
But Christians over here and stuff like, oh, this is all demonic rituals. They're gonna open a demon portal to hell and shit.
Oh yeah,
like,
I'm sure there was protests when they were gonna fire that thing up.
Oh, massive! Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. It's so much power. You're using terrible.
You guys been watching too much South Park, like
so insane. You're gonna make tiny black holes was another theory because they do make tiny black holes that they dissipate so fast. But people are like, you're gonna make one big enough that it sucks the earth and everything into it, and then we're just gonna fucking die. Yeah, I'm like. That's a terrifying thought, but I don't think
that's
like,
not
they
really
would
how this tube works, brother.
Like they make tiny black holes,
that
have so little energy to it because it's a single photon, 2 single photons crashing into each other and then just exploding apart, and that can create little black holes, but they don't have enough.
There's not enough
energy
mass to them.
like do anything. They just come in and out of existence almost instantaneously, and they pop. Hey, people, guess what? I found out black holes pop in and out of existence around you at all times. They're little mini black holes
shit.
All over, yeah. From particles and photons from, like, the sun and particles
Just on, like, a microscopic level, atomic level.
Yeah. We just don't see or feel. And I also heard something about, we've learned that gravity waves, like, kind of rock Earth like a boat on water.
Yeah.
And they're trying to measure how much the Earth actually shifts right and left in
within
the gravitational, within the gravitational time space. So, like, how we found those gravitational waves, we've found gravitation, with the LIGAR thing, they've found gravitational waves built up around the Earth, and so it kind of looks like it's just like rolling back and forth warped in space-time. Yeah, like space-time's water almost, and it's just a boat floating. And they're wondering how much drift in the space-time it goes back and forth.
Well, and it almost implies that if you visualize that field, that plane of, like, the waves, like, that's another dimension if you think about it, because it's another axis on which we are constantly moving
up and down and around it. Yeah, that's true.
It's another dimension of movement.
Dude, that's crazy. That could explain something. Like, they say that they've measured 11 dimensions in our brain. Like, our brain works 11 dimensionally. I don't know how you measure that or tell.
I don't either.
But that's
probably takes a lot of math.
Yeah.
A lot of math involved.
It's fucking gnarly. It is gnarly.
Blowing my mind, man. Get me out of this lab. I'm too high. All right. I've always wanted to. There's two things I've always wanted to do. One of them is, like, go to a radio station and just sit in on, like, a morning broadcast or something and just watch, like, people pushing the buttons and, like, different things lighting up and volume knobs, and I want to see how they come in and out of these commercials. I know a lot of it's just digital nowadays, but it's always fascinated me. The other thing is go and do, like, a science lab and watch some scientists do some real, like, lab coat shit, but be able to, like, be smoking a blunt, you know, and just kind of hanging out and, like, asking them questions like, dude, how do you have to, like, measure the microns so that you don't fucking blow that thing up, you know? Like, I just want to be able to shoot the shit while they're doing cool science stuff, you know?
Yeah, I want to be able to get stoned and super intrigued while I ask them every question that comes to mind. Like, well, how does that work? Well, why does this work? Why
we could even get our boy, man, why can't I think of his name? The science man, not Bill Nye, but Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah,
if he was standing there too, just asking him questions, he'd be spitting off those crazy facts all the time.
I feel like Neil gets pissed when you ask him dumb questions, though.
I feel like he's just not sorry for answering them like a smart person.
Yeah. Sometimes, like I've seen people ask, like, flat Earth pisses him off.
Oh yeah, well that's just because you're ignoring,
like, science at that point.
Exactly,
yeah, and that upsets
it's like
him.
You're just making this up, man. Come on.
I kind of respect him for it, like, because in a public forum, he'll be like, "You're fucking stupid," like, "You're stupid," and, like, most people can't even say that kind of shit. But he basically is like, "You're a retard. Why are you even asking those things? Like, that's just retarded thought." I'm like,
I'm sure his manager would be sending him a text as soon as he said that on the microphone.
I guarantee I'm probably going to get an email from fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson's publicist, like, you need to retract your statement.
Well,
immediately.
I would like to give you the chance then right here to retract your statement.
I still feel like he thinks that people are retarded if they think it's flat Earth. I still think that. Right. I'm not saying that he says it. I'm saying that I think he thinks it.
Okay, well, there is a difference there.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I'll redefine my
shout out
process.
to Neil.
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson's a beast.
I was in the same building as his office once.
That's insane.
That's my claim to deGrasse Tyson fame.
Dude, if I could kick it for a day with Michio Kaku and Neil deGrasse Tyson and Ben Greenfield
and Chris Kyle, U.S. Sniper.
Fuck yeah. That would be the best day of my life. You would have, like, some of the most badass people on the planet and then some of the smartest fucking people on the planet. Like, I don't know how you couldn't make the best day ever out of that. Like, these guys will get you physically into some shit, and then you learn the math and science behind why any of that works. Like,
that'd be a good combo.
It would be fucking tight. I would love that. take a scientist on like a fucking hunting expedition and like get the science of it while you're hunting, that would be a good series.
I just think it's always cool to talk to people that are experts at stuff. You know,
I would love to get like all the podcasts and stuff. I want to start getting more like experts in and like people in those fields, like reaching out to people at like the university and stuff like that, and like having them come in and really explain shit. And
I feel like the new spot would be a good spot for that, considering that I think a lot of people would be turned off by being just hotboxed the whole time.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, it definitely will be probably something that I'm gonna be talking with my brother Heavy about doing with Nine Media, and like we're already planning on doing podcasts and stuff. So
yeah, that'd be so
trying
sick.
to like really get some top notch people in and doing some sick interviews.
Just be like, hey, I'm fucking dumb. You're fucking smart.
Yeah,
just let's go, make it happen.
Yeah,
what do you got for me?
Fucking spill your guts to me.
Blow my mind.
I am.
Yeah, see, that's like I've always wanted to just talk to an expert about something like that and straight up just be like, yo, I am a dumb small brain monkey person.
Yeah.
You are a went to college person.
Yeah, you educate. I uneducate. Just by the way I speech that.
I don't
I don't
say words no good.
Yeah, I say no word no good. Like, okay, gotcha. Yeah, here's the mic. Just hand him the mic. I could do it with one mic because you wouldn't need to hear shit from me.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't need to hear a fucking thing other than, really? That's fucking insane.
I need to hear.
Jesus Christ. How? That fucking science is magic. Like, people are always looking for, like, magic and shit. It's right there in science. Like,
yeah, man.
You want real magic? Go to quantum science, like quantum mechanics.
Just, like, go on YouTube and type up, like, magic science. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, you'll just find crazy shit that's like, I mean, dude, a lot of actual, quote, magic tricks are
Is just
science.
yeah.
Right? You ever see that one where they pour the dust, like the powder in the glass, and then, like, a glass of water, and then they can turn it upside down and it's solid? It's like gelatin or something, but it instantly solidifies the water. So my dad used to do it when he would come home from work. I remember just being like really small, and he would have, he'd get a cup of water, and we would like beg him to do this thing, and he would pour some kind of powder in it, and then turn it upside down, and it would stay in the cup, and it was like the craziest thing as a kid.
That's fucking sick.
And then I came to realize, that's more of a like common magic trick for like people that know a couple magic tricks.
That's fucking crazy. I've actually never seen that. I have seen people do, like, you can take water that's been in a freezer for a bit, and then if you smack it on the ground, it'll freezes up.
Yeah.
Because
it'll ice over.
I don't even know why it does it. There's some chemical thing that happens to where, like, locks the bonds or something. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'm fucking retarded. But, it's sick. And, like, the rubber pencil, that was the only magic trick I knew.
used to do that all the time.
Rubber pencil. I was like, look at it. It's not even solid. Yeah, boom, perfect. It's so crazy how rubbery it looks.
Yeah, I remember that blowing some minds back in the old classroom days.
Fuck yeah. That shit is fucking crazy. There's some sick shit I've seen. The coolest one I was ever able to do that, like, freaked people out, and it was just, like, if you could get, before anyone knew, you get enough, just, like, little gas inside of the hand, and then you...
Yeah.
And without them seeing you, light it, and be like, fucking fire! What the fuck? And then everybody knew about it, and then you couldn't do it anymore.
We didn't do that as a magic trick. We just did it more like all of us homies standing around in a circle with lighters trying to just do a big one.
Yeah, after everybody knew about doing it, because I was like the only person at the time that smoked. Like, it was years before everybody else I knew actually started smoking. Everybody called me a fucking idiot. And like, you're stupid, you're fucking smoking. Like, yeah.
Look at you now.
I enjoy it. And then they all smoke. And I'm like, what the fuck? They used to ask for cigarettes. I'm like, no, but you're going to have to buy your own cigarettes. You talk so much shit about me smoking. Now you want to fucking get my cigarettes because you don't know how to get cigarettes because you didn't learn over
Get out
the
of
years.
here.
So dumb. Damn, we're at 59 minutes, brother.
Damn, son.
Oh, gotta...
Time flies when you're doing drugs.
Facts. Smoking the devil's lettuce.
Devil himself.
Dude, today's been a good day so far.
It
good
has.
Skate session, good smoke, good talk.
Hopefully make a little good music here in a minute.
Fuck yeah. About to get into that. I don't know why my screens keep shutting off. They've never shut off before, but the last week they just randomly have been shutting off.
Maybe
I don't know.
You changed some screen timeout setting or something like that.
That's what I'm
accident,
thinking.
Or some program you installed changed it.
I think I did. I think I might have pushed some buttons one night and just don't know what I did. Because I have to, like, hand feel all the buttons. Can't see them. So it's like sometimes I hit the wrong thing and I might double tap it trying to get it to go away, and it may do something.
I think I have, like, a universal remote.
I have one here. I just have to figure out how to link it. I'm dumb. There's a YouTube video for it, I guarantee it.
You just, like, figure out what model the TV is, and then there's a certain code.
And then
it's like 4-digit code, and you look up your TV. Actually, you could probably Google LG universal remote code, and it would bring up, like, a bunch of 4-digit codes.
Fuck yeah.
You type it in and hit some button or something, and then you're linked.
About to do that. I think I need to get batteries, too.
Yeah. Well, I think you might have to know, like, exactly what TV it is. Like, it's an LG fucking FR29-2 or something like that.
Damn.
But it's probably,
I think I can...
the corners or something.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can find the exact make and model on it. Even just from accessing inside of the computer, because it tells you to make a model of the TV.
Oh, yeah.
So,
look at that.
I'm going to try to figure that out. But I think we're going to cut the podcast now and make some music, so you people have a great rest of your day.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you.
Lord be with you. Always.
Always. Almighty. God bless you. And amen.
Amen.